Welcome to Real People, Real Voices. I'm James Jackson.
And I'm Pastor Wayne Moore, co-host.
Always a pleasure to host with you.
It is, my brother. Happy to be here with you, man. We're COVID ready, doing what we can to make this happen in the most productive way for our guests.
Yeah.
So we can continue to do some more work in the studio instead of doing a lot of Zooms. I'm happy we're back.
Yeah, and there might be those who say, well, you know, I got a lot of reprograms, rerunning programs.
Yeah.
But, you know, COVID numbers were going up. And we're very grateful that Curtis and the team were able to come up with a new configuration.
Right.
To try to keep people safe.
Yeah.
Including us.
Yeah, keep us safe. You know, people watch the reruns of Bonanza.
And Seinfeld. And
yeah, why can't they watch Real People, Real Voices, you know?
Every show is a great show.
Every show is a great show.
We got some great sponsors.
Yeah, we do have some great sponsors. Let me give them to you right here. We have Tomiko and Associates. We also have Lavinia and Summers Home for Funerals. We also have Marion County Public Health Department with us. And then we also lead Coastal and Crawley, Northside Window and Gutter Cleaning. And then we have Fervent Prayer Christian Academy, Al's Modern Clothing and Shoes. And we have His Place Eatery, where you can go get some good fish on Fridays.
Yeah, you know, one or both of us, we have supported all of these businesses.
All of them. We have supported all of them, and we do everything to let people know that you need to be in touch with some of these businesses as well.
And we got some great guests coming up here in just a few moments, so we want to make sure that you stay with us. Text somebody, let them know that we are on. Also, if you want to see this show when it's over, as well as some others that you might have missed, you can do that at WHMB TV 40 on YouTube, and
you can like us on Facebook because we're there waiting on you. There are some good things on Facebook. Don't let anybody tell you it's all negativity. There's some positive things, and we're one of them.
We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices, and we're joined by Mr. Dean Babcock. Mm-hmm. Good to have you with us today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
And thank you all for being sponsors.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really do appreciate it.
Yes.
And you are the team lead for the RAP project.
The RAP project.
Interesting.
Tell us about it.
Yeah. So a little over 2 years ago, and I've worked in the Indianapolis community in the mental health and addiction treatment arena for a very long time at the VA, and it used to be at Wishard, and then with Eskenazi for many, many years in an executive and clinical leadership role. And then I retired from Eskenazi a couple of years ago, and they asked me to come on board kind of as a project lead and consultant with the Department of Epidemiology, working on a project called the RAP Project.
Oh.
Okay, so that's what I've been doing for the past 2 years.
From retirement to consultant now.
Yes, yeah.
So what are some of the interesting things that you're doing?
So the RAP Project was really kind of brought together kind of as an idea to, and having worked in the field for a very long time, that there's a problem that kind of exists, which is, not one agency provides all the services that a particular individual needs when they have a substance use disorder problem. Many times they need addiction treatment, many times they need mental health, sometimes they need housing, those types of things. But finding those services can prove to be very difficult. And if you don't know what those services are, there's no one place to get them. And so we started with pulling together partners in a sense, and we pulled together the RCR Technologies and the InStep group here in town, which is a collaborative kind of providers, and the Minority Recovery Collaborative, as well as the Indiana Addiction Issues Coalition, and we designed a project. And that started with kind of a master assessment of 230 agencies here in the Indianapolis and greater Indianapolis area, mostly Marion County for the most part, and asked them questions about who do you refer to, what are the problems when you go to make a referral, do you ever hear back? And many times the referral system tends to be a one-way street. So you have a client in front of you, they need an item or they need a service, and you send them on their way, and they don't necessarily make it, and they disappear, and they kind of fall off the track in it. So we decided, let's pull together people's thoughts about that process and figure out ways to improve it. So that's what we've been working on.
And RAP is an acronym for recovery.
The referral assessment project is what it, and plan project is what it started with. And now it kind of stands for a website that we created to help with that problem, which is called the recoveryassistplatform.com or .org. Both of them work.
To stay in touch.
Basically is you can go to that website and find services.
Yeah.
Locate services. And what makes that website really kind of unique is that you can search by zip code, you can search by the type of service, you can search by keyword, you can search by the population that you're trying to work with. So you can put in a search that says, I want to look for services for agencies that take adolescents or agencies that take pregnant women. Okay. But what they have in common is all these agencies provide services for people who have substance use disorders.
And what kind of results are you all seeing so far?
Well, so far we have, the whole project was really kind of setting up work groups in the community, providers coming together to create a consistent and standard universal referral form that anyone can use when they send someone from one agency to another agency. As well as a standard agency profile that describes agencies in a consistent manner. So if one agency says that they do detox or a certain level of inpatient or outpatient service, with the way that we built the website and people filled out their profiles, you could trust that if this agency says they're doing this, it's the same language that this agency is doing. And you don't have to go to their individual websites to search for it and interpret it. You can kind of search in that consistency of language between the agencies. So far we have over 200, I think around 235
Agencies?
different agency profiles on it. And when you search, you can search and it will show you a map kind of where they're at. It has their operating hours, it has what they do, what they don't do, who they serve. And a very unique feature of this is it also indicates what type of payment the organization takes, which hadn't existed before. So finding someone, so let's say you have a patient and they have MDY's insurance. You can search by which agencies just take that insurance so you're not wasting your time to doing it. And it works on an iPad, like you had. It also works on your cell phone. So I've even been called while I'm traveling in Cincinnati, and a friend called and says, hey, I've got a brother who's got a son who's in trouble, needs to get into care. I could pull it up on my phone, type in, where does he live, what's the zip code, what insurance does he have, and here's phone numbers where you could call.
So people who are dealing with substance abuse issues can access this. Is this something that loved ones and friends can access on behalf of other people?
Yes. Now, the system was designed when we started the project. The project was really much more geared toward agencies referring to other agencies. So there's a certain level of kind of technical jargon in some of the profiles that your normal everyday citizen may not understand, but it's simple enough that if you are looking for substance use disorder treatment, if you click substance use disorder treatment, your zip code, whatever, it will give you a list of agencies that you can then call, and it has their walk-in hours, their telephone, their website, et cetera.
All right, outstanding. We've got more to come with Mr. Babcock here today, so stay with us. We'll be back after these messages. Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices, and we're joined by Mr. Dean Babcock. Thank you for taking out time to spend time with us today.
Glad to be here.
So plans to improve and expand the RAP website.
So kind of our overall plans, our website went live in August. And when we started this project, we never had the intention of creating a website. We were going to collect the profiles and collect the information and bring all of the different partners and different agencies kind of together, and then hopefully hand that off to another electronic directory like the 211 directory or a program called Aunt Bertha or whatever. But when we brought the community together and what the agencies themselves felt that had to be included in a profile to make it really helpful for agencies and other people to use. We just did not feel that we could impose that level of detail on existing websites. They would have to change their formats and how they have things set up or whatever. And RCR Technologies, who was our partner here in town that we were working with, said, "Hey, why don't we just create a unique website and do everything you want?" So they did that and did a very admirable job. In about a 6-week period of time, stood up a website. So right now, what we've got additional funding to go kind of continue to improve that website. And so we're starting to redesign some of the search features on it to make it easier for folks to kind of navigate kind of through the system. Although it's pretty user-friendly, sometimes it's helpful to have someone demonstrate it for you. So I do demonstrations for folks and agencies by Zoom meetings or in person to do that. And we're always looking for more partners to add their profiles to our mix. So we're working and continuing to work with folks. Every time we see someone that is in the business of helping people who have substance use disorders, I contact them and ask them, would you please fill out a profile so people can know that you're there? One of the things that happened during the opiate epidemic here, and I've worked in this field for a very, very long time, is the field itself was always so money poor that there was very little money in the system and there were very few providers. And I think one of the things that happened with the opiate epidemic was people started waking up to realize these services are so critical and so needed for people. Lots of money flooded the system. And so you have lots of agencies that sprang up that do treatment that weren't here 5 years ago or even 2 years ago.
Speaking of the opium, if I might, opioid situation, has it gotten better or has it worsened?
No, it continues to get worse, okay? And it continues to grow. The overdoses tend to grow. And the other thing that's kind of endemic in all of that is the nature of the drugs themselves have changed. And so fentanyl is now it's almost in kind of every drug, and methamphetamine. So it's kind of, you have kind of your old standard kind of drugs. Here was heroin, here was oxycodone, here was Oxycontin, et cetera. And now we're finding, that people who manufacture, now they include fentanyl and methamphetamine. And, when you have fentanyl in the drug supply,
you got a problem.
It's a major problem, and it's really easy to overdose, and it creates havoc in the community. And I just don't see that going away anytime soon.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So do you all have a Facebook page where people can go to a Facebook page and maybe click on a link that would take them to the website, or?
They can just go directly to the website. So it's the recoveryassistplatform.com.
Would you consider that?
Sure.
A Facebook page? I mean, I see a lot of Facebook stories.
And we're currently working with the Public Relations Department at the Marion County Health Department to make those links easier. So we've also had other agencies in town like Overdose Lifeline, the Drug Free Marion County, the Beach Grove collaboration have all included links to our website on their websites. And so that's kind of part of spreading the word, okay?
And speaking of spreading the word, what would you say to our viewing audience as to helping to get people to this website?
I'd say go to recoveryassistplatform.com for one. Go to the Marion County Public Health Department. They have their website as well. Continue to tell your friends, tell your loved ones, and by all means, substance use disorders are a treatable illness. It's not a death sentence, and it's like, get help.
Yeah.
Okay? So.
Yeah, I think that's the most important part about the whole initiative that you're working with, is for people to get help.
Yes.
But we've got to make sure that they know that this element is out there for them to tap into,
Right.
to get the help that they need. And there's nothing to be embarrassed about.
Not at all.
If you got an issue, get the help.
And what we want to do is create a platform that it's easy for people to find that. So I don't know if you've ever personally looked for care. It's hard to find care. Okay? It's hard. So we tried to make almost a one-stop shopping where you could kind of go and look for lots of resources in one place.
And rehab centers, drug rehabilitation
Absolutely.
centers, are in any direction almost an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
We
Well,
don't really-
we've got lots here in town.
Yeah.
So you can
We're talking about
find them on our website.
We're talking about in bed, though.
In a bed,
Inpatient.
right.
Inpatient.
Right.
Inpatient is difficult here.
Yeah.
Very difficult, because I think that's one thing we do. At one time, when we were fighting the drug addiction issues in our counties, we had more inpatient.
Right. And some of that's coming back.
Yeah, it needs to come
Right.
back. It needs to come back. It needs to come back. More inpatient. So the outpatient treatment, the 72-hour stay and all of that, if there is a stay anymore, it's just so difficult for people to really get the treatment that they need.
And we're talking about, an illness that requires attention through the course of a lifetime.
Yeah.
It's a chronic, long-lasting condition, and treatment needs to match that.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. We have gotten totally away from matching the treatment with the issue.
Right.
And we tried to make it like a car wash, if I could use that term.
Yeah.
Go in real quick and come out.
It's not like spraining your ankle.
No.
Where 6 weeks later you're fine.
Fine, yeah.
That's not how this works.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, you've been a great guest.
Thank you.
Thank you for the information that you share with us.
Thank you for having me.
Good to have you here. And good to have
Mr.
you
Babcock.
all here. Thank you for joining us on today. We'll be back with the rundown, so don't go away. Welcome back to Real People, Real Voices. I'm James Jackson.
And I'm your co-host, Pastor Wayne Moore.
And I'm your producer, Curtis Baker. Can I talk about our sponsors real quick?
Absolutely.
Well, I would like to thank Tamiko and Associates for being a sponsor, Lavinia and Summers, Home of Funerals, Marion County Public Health Department, Lee Castle and Crawley, Owl's Modern Clothing and Shoes, Northside Window and Gutter Cleaning. It's time now for that to happen. And Fervent Care Christian Academy, and of course, one of my favorites, His Place Eatery.
Yeah.
Got to come there on Friday. Join me for some good catfish.
Yeah.
Well, just let us know what time you're going to go.
I'm
Yeah,
treating.
let us know so we.
He
'cause
says
I might have
treating.
to smoke meatloaf.
I'm treating.
Smoked meatloaf.
They do. That's really good too.
Yeah.
We'll have to
Might
meet over
check it
there.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Aunt Jeanette is watching.
Aunt Jeanette is watching, and you know what? She makes some good catfish too, by the way. In fact, if you're ever in Kokomo, Second Baptist
I know
Church,
about that.
you got to check her out. She's one of our biggest fans too, by the way. She talks about you guys every time I'm down there. She's like, those pastors, I got to meet those guys.
Well, I've been to her church several times.
Okay,
I used to be her state president.
Okay. And she said that. She had
but she
said
does.
something.
You forget things.
Yeah,
Curtis.
I got a birthday coming.
You're a state president.
You got a birthday coming up.
Yeah, I understand. You get in front of the camera, man. You just all.
Well, I'm not as smooth as you guys. They give me 2 minutes. And I got to put it all in 2 minutes. You guys got a whole
You
segment.
got a couple extra minutes.
Yeah, a couple extra minutes a day, Curtis.
I know that. That's making me nervous. We had a good guest though today.
Oh
did.
yeah,
We did.
yeah. That's a great program, man.
And
Yeah.
that topic cannot be talked about enough.
I think it would be advantageous, though, for the Marion County Health Department to have a Facebook page, particularly the link in the story. 'Cause, there's a lot of ads that run in the story, and you can click the link that will take you to the website. Hopefully, they will entertain that idea if they haven't already, because you can reach more people.
Yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes when we look at this particular drug issue in our community today, it's very, very, very complex, man. I mean, some people are not getting service the right way because we don't have the facilities we once had. It's all, you know, been, sometimes data is good, but sometimes data hurts because it changes things sometimes that don't need to be changed.
Well, you know, if you don't have good insurance, in a lot of these cases, a lot of these facilities, you just can't get in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I think when they close.
And we're fighting for that, for people to make sure that Hoosiers have insurance. We fought for it once. We're going to have to fight for it again.
I think when they
People have
closed LaRue Carter years ago,
insurance.
created a big hole.
Yeah. And homeless, everything increased.
Everything.
As, not on the positive side. And I still tell people don't want to admit it, but that was one of the biggest mistakes Evan Bayh ever made as a governor.
Yes.
You know, a lot of times I think when you don't see it, you don't know how bad it is.
And it doesn't affect your household.
Exactly.
It doesn't make you any different.
Until you talk to someone like Mr. Babcock and say, "Oh, it's really worse than
What you think it is.
what it used to be."
You know, opioids when it came became popular.
Right.
The percentages in data was down in minority communities, but in white communities it was high in the rural areas. So they began to build rehab centers in those rural areas, Scott County, et cetera.
Treatment within an hour.
Treatment within an hour.
Drive.
We don't have that here. So that needs to all be revisited.
And as I understand it, the issue is skyrocketing in the black community.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
And the fentanyl issue, wow.
dangerous stuff. Hopefully, those of you who are watching will access the website, the RAP website. Make sure it's going to be right there on the screen. If it hasn't, I'm sure it's already been there. But screenshot that, text that to somebody. It could save someone's life. You would be the one to get that information out to people who may not be able to get it. And that's why we're here, to make sure people
That's
get
right.
that information.
That's exactly right.
Thank you for joining us. We really appreciate you, and you, Aunt Jeanette. We appreciate you so much, and all of our viewers. We'll see you next time.